After months of feeling shut out, overlooked, and treated like a burden in my own marriage, I made a quiet choice that shifted everything. I didn't fight. I didn't make an announcement. I didn't even give her a heads up. I simply removed the one day that was meant to be ours. And by the time my wife realized what I had done, the moment had already passed. For nearly a year, my wife Emily had been distant. Not hostile, not emotional, just gone in a way that was hard to explain. She came home late, drained, constantly occupied. Conversations shrank into short replies. Physical closeness almost disappeared. Even eye contact felt like something I had to earn. Whenever I tried to talk, the answer was always the same. Not now. I'm tired. At first, I convinced myself it was just work pressure. Then, I turned the blame inward. Maybe I had become boring. Maybe I wasn't enough anymore. But the rejection kept piling up. A date night? I already have plans with coworkers. A weekend trip? You know I don't like traveling right now. Even a simple hug was met with her gently stepping away, as if I'd asked for too much. Still, I stayed. I cooked. I cleaned. I waited. I hoped. Our 10th anniversary was coming up. 10 years. A milestone I had been secretly planning for months. I booked a quiet lakeside hotel. Reserved the restaurant where we had shared our first real date. I even bought a necklace she once admired in a store window. I wanted that day to remind her of us, of who we used to be. 2 weeks before the anniversary, I finally told her. I showed her the reservation and tried to sound excited instead of desperate. She barely glanced up from her phone. That weekend, she said. I think I mentioned it already. My department has a retreat. I can't cancel. I just stared at her. It's our anniversary, Emily. 10 years. She sighed, irritated, like I had asked for something unreasonable. You're overreacting. We can celebrate another time. Another time. The same phrase I had been hearing for months. Something inside me went silent. That night, while she slept, I opened my email and canceled everything: the hotel, the restaurant, the anniversary package. I didn't text her. I didn't bring it up again. I simply let the date arrive and pass without a word. On the morning of our anniversary, I woke up early, made coffee, sat at the kitchen table like it was an ordinary day. Emily rushed out of the bedroom, already dressed. I'll be late tonight, she said. The retreat planning went long. I nodded. Okay. She paused, clearly surprised. Maybe she expected an argument. Maybe she expected disappointment. I gave her neither. That evening, I went out alone. Not to our restaurant. Not somewhere romantic. Just a quiet diner. I ate slowly and thought about the past year, about how small I had made myself to avoid conflict, how long I had been waiting for her to choose me again. She came home after midnight. The next morning, something felt different. She seemed uneasy, watching me like she was trying to read my expression. You didn't say anything yesterday, she finally said. About what? Our anniversary. I shrugged. You were busy. She frowned. You didn't even try to remind me. I looked at her, then really looked at her. I did. You just didn't care. The words hung heavy between us. Over the next few days, she became unusually attentive, asking if I wanted dinner, texting during the day, sitting closer on the couch. It was as if she suddenly remembered she was married. But something in me had already changed. I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt anymore. I was done waiting. A week later, she asked, Did you actually plan something for our anniversary? Yes, I said calmly. Her eyes widened. What do you mean, yes? I had a trip booked. Dinner. A gift. I canceled it. Her mouth fell open. You canceled it? I nodded. I didn't see the point. For the first time in a long while, she looked shaken. Why wouldn't you tell me? Because every time I reach for you, you push me away, I said. I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped asking. The room went silent. She slowly sat down, as if the weight of my words had finally landed. I didn't know you felt this way, she said. I almost laughed. I've been telling you for months. You just weren't listening. That night, she cried. She said she hadn't realized how far she had pushed me away. She blamed work, stress, burnout. She admitted she thought I would always be there no matter what. That missing one anniversary didn't seem like a big deal to her, but it was. Not because of the day itself, but because of what it symbolized. I told her something I had never said out loud before. When you stop choosing your partner, eventually they stop choosing you too. The days that followed were tense. She tried harder than she had in a year, compliments, affection, plans, apologies. But the balance had shifted. I wasn't chasing anymore. I wasn't begging for attention. A month later, I made another choice. I told her I needed space. No shouting. No dramatic fight. Just honesty. I don't know if I can keep living in a marriage where I feel invisible. She panicked. Promised change. Promised therapy. Promised effort. And maybe she meant it. Maybe it was finally real. But here's the truth people don't like to admit. Sometimes, when your partner finally wakes up, you've already emotionally walked away. Canceling our anniversary wasn't loud or vengeful. It was quiet, controlled. It was me choosing myself for the first time in years. And when my wife finally understood what she had lost, not the trip, not the dinner, not the gift, but the man who had spent so long trying to love her, she learned something far more painful than any argument ever could.